Tonight, 165 new COVID-19 cases recorded in the last 24 hours, as well as 7 deaths, taking the total of cases now to 44,502 and the death toll to 751. Minister of Health and Wellness says data indicates that Jamaica's COVID-19 reproductive rate is trending down.
Our positivity rate has fallen from as high as 42%, and today we reported a 15.7%. And this represents, Madam Speaker, the lowest positivity rate in over 8 weeks.
Still tonight, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the e-commerce national delivery solution, ENDS, which enables business continuity during the COVID-19 curfew hours, is a program that Jamaicans should be proud of.
The Prime Minister has been clear from the very first case of COVID in Jamaica. The government's task is to balance lives with livelihoods. It gives people an opportunity to be properly compliant with all the regulations in government and connects them with the business opportunities of the World Wide Web. So we believe it is a massive opportunity.
And investigation launched into shooting incident at Keats Avenue in Duhaney Park, where a police corporal shot and injured his son during a domestic dispute yesterday morning.
Sometime after 9 yesterday, we understand that there was a dispute at the family home where it started with a verbal confrontation, which escalated into a physical fight between the father and the son, during which the father, who is a member of the force, used his licensed firearm. He fired 1 round, which caught the son.
Good evening. The country recorded 165 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, as well as 7 deaths, taking the overall total of cases now to 44,502 and the death toll to 751. The deaths include a 67-year-old woman from St. James, an 80-year-old woman from Westmoreland, a 69-year-old man from St. Catherine, a 60-year-old man from St. Mary, and 3 men from Kingston and St. Andrew, aged 64, 65, and 73 years. The new cases were recorded in Clarendon with 5 cases, Hanover recorded 2 cases, Kingston and St. Andrew 53 cases, Manchester recorded 9 cases, St. Anne and St. Elizabeth recorded 12 cases each, St. Catherine 34 cases, St. James recorded 15 cases, St. Mary 4, St. Thomas 8 cases, Trelawney recorded 1 case, while Westmoreland recorded 10 cases. Meanwhile, 100 patients have recovered for a total of 20,170 recovered persons. In other news tonight, the St. Anne Parish Court and its Brownstown outstation were both closed today, April 22, due to the COVID-19 virus. The Judiciary of Jamaica, in a statement, said that additional information on reopening will be provided in the coming days. Matters that were scheduled to be heard today and tomorrow, including matters before the Circuit Court, will be adjourned and new dates assigned. Beneficiaries of maintenance monies who still receive their payments via checks will be able to collect their checks on Friday, April 23, 2021 at the Brownstown outstation. However, they are being encouraged to sign up with the cash card or direct deposit systems to receive funds electronically. Persons can sign up for either of these facilities at the court office. For more information, members of the public are being encouraged to contact the Court Administration Division, CAD, at 876-754-8337 or visit their website at www.cad.gov.jm and www.parishcourt.gov.jm. Still making Mello TV news tonight, Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton says data indicates that Jamaica's COVID-19 reproductive rate is trending down, noting that the country has recorded its lowest positivity rate in 8 weeks.
Based on our epidemiological assessment, there is some movement in the right direction as it relates to the degree of spread, hospitalization, and those who have been worst affected from this pandemic, this virus. Our reproductive rate over the last 4 weeks, Madam Speaker, have moved from 1.3% to 0.9, I should say, from 1.3 to 0.9. This really means that we are moving in a direction where the spread of the virus is decreasing or declining, and below 1, not ideally where we want it to be, we would like it to be somewhere in the region of 0.7, but certainly going below 1 means the spread, the rate of spread that each person with COVID is responsible for is at a rate that is less than the capacity to double or increase the extent of the virus beyond our capacities currently. In other words, we are seeing a declining rate of spread, which is a very positive development. Our positivity rate has fallen from as high as 42%, and today we reported a 15.7%. And this represents, Madam Speaker, the lowest positivity rate in over 8 weeks. And we certainly hope that this will continue, given the extent and the impact of the surge that we have had in recent times.
Dr. Tufton, in thanking Jamaicans for their cooperation, said that the many sacrifices made by many well-thinking Jamaicans have resulted in many lives being saved.
This reduction in the number of cases is due in the main to the many sacrifices that we have made as a country. And of course, the leadership of the government, led of course by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Sacrifices, however, Madam Speaker, at the individual level, the family level, the community and organizations, sacrifices by all. These sacrifices have resulted in many hardships, we understand, for the men and women who have had to give up their livelihoods and bear the economic brunt of lockdowns or other forms of restrictions and movement. And I have to say, on behalf of the entire government and the Ministry of Health and Wellness team who have been in the field championing the response, that we understand the sacrifices and we say thanks to the Jamaican people for their support.
In other news tonight, Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the e-commerce national delivery solution, ENDS, which enables business continuity during the coronavirus COVID-19 curfew hours, should be a program that Jamaicans are proud of.
The Prime Minister has been clear from the very first case of COVID in Jamaica. The government's task is to balance lives with livelihoods. You know, we've done better than many other countries in terms of the rate of spread. We've done better in terms of mitigating against economic collapse, which is possible, and we've seen in neighboring countries and other places. We've not had to go to the markets to borrow because we've balanced, you know, the need to reduce and tighten restrictions as per what the hospital says. So we haven't done, you know, any full lockdowns, and we haven't done any full curfews without any exemptions. We've done the best we can to truly balance the medical issues while trying to keep the economy going as best as possible. And what ENDS is just another example of that. It's an example also of collaboration, because this would have been brought to us by the PSOJ, and I want to thank them publicly again for their involvement and investment into the program. But it's a type of program that Jamaicans should be proud of. It also, in many ways, drags some of the persons and personas in business kicking and screaming into the 21st century because it forces them to engage with e-commerce providers. Whoever they want to use is not our issue, right? But it forces businesses that were not engaging in e-commerce to engage in this space, but to see the true benefits. When I talk to a pan chicken man, for instance, in Montego Bay, or one in Portmore, and they're getting up to 250, 300 orders in a night, strictly with delivery without a single drive-up customer. And this is more than they would have done in a normal Friday night. That shows them the way they can connect with a market that they would have lost otherwise. And we believe that this opportunity will remain long beyond ends.
Senator Samoda also pointed out that the ENDS program is a massive opportunity.
We've given one that was very small an opportunity to flourish. The delivery economy was certainly around. There are many delivery solutions, certainly in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. James. And then there are delivery men and individual businesses all throughout the country. But I think this gives it an opportunity to be formalized. It gives people an opportunity to be properly compliant with all the regulations in government and connects them with the business opportunities of the World Wide Web. So we believe it is a massive opportunity.
Stay tuned for our full interview with Senator Matthew Samoda following this newscast. Still making the news tonight, 3 firearms and several rounds of ammunition were seized during an operation in Woodside District in Clarendon on April 21. No one was arrested in connection with the incident. Reports from the Maypen Police coming into our news center are that at approximately 11 a.m., a team of law enforcement officers conducted an operation in the area. A premises was searched and 3 firearms and 48 assorted rounds of ammunition were found in a closet. The weapons include 1 Browning 9mm pistol containing 6 9mm rounds, 1 Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol with 10 9mm rounds, 1 Winchester shotgun containing 4 12-gauge cartridges, and 28 9mm rounds of ammunition. Investigations into the find are ongoing. We go to news from the capital now, as an investigation has been launched into a shooting incident that occurred on Keats Avenue, Duhaney Park yesterday morning, where a police corporal reportedly shot and injured his son during a domestic dispute involving his estranged wife. Head of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces JCF's Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay said that the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM personnel, are now investigating the matter, and the son is currently in hospital and stable at this time.
Sometime after 9 yesterday, we understand that there was a dispute at the family home in Keats Crescent in Duhaney Park, where it started with a verbal confrontation which escalated into a physical fight between the father and the son, during which the father, who is a member of the force, used his licensed firearm. He fired 1 round which caught the son, and he was taken to a hospital where he was treated. The matter was reported to INDECOM, who commenced investigation alongside the Jamaica Constabulary Forces iProbe department. So we're waiting for the outcome. We know that he was interviewed by the detectives from INDECOM as well as detectives from the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The condition of the son is considered stable at this time. So we await update from INDECOM in relation to the actual investigation and the action that will be taken following their findings.
A resident of the same community where the incident took place, Roy, shared his opinion of the father and what could have triggered this incident.
Very, very good. Grew up in church, quiet. No, quiet. After I come here this morning, after the son gets shot, everybody had tell me say I'm rushing to hospital. So I kind of understand that, say, that's a tragic accident. Well, sometime in life, you have a breaking point no matter who you is. You see, whether you is a police or civilian, you have a breaking point. What I mean by that, if something are going on for a while and you catch up, you want to control it, but it does get out of hand.
We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. Continuing with the news tonight, 3 relatives of incarcerated alleged Tivoli Gardens strongman Christopher Dudus Coke and 4 co-accused implicated in the murder of another alleged gangster, Patrick P. Boy Davis, are to be released from police custody. The 7 accused, including Coke's son, were conditionally freed by Justice Leighton Pusey in the Home Circuit Court today. The judge acceded to the request of prosecutors for a conditional nolle prosequi to be entered in the case due to the unavailability of the witnesses. However, if the witnesses are located, the case can be readmitted before the courts. The trial of the 7 accused was expected to begin on April 19, but it was hampered by hurdles faced by the prosecution in locating the witnesses. Those charged with Davis's murder committed on March 12, 2018 are Andrew Layton Livity Coke and Christopher Tittyman Coke Jr., the brother and son of Christopher Dudus Coke, respectively, as well as his younger brother, Lanchester Bamati Coke. The others charged with murder are Leisha Jones, David Alien Biggs, Wayne Ratty Page, and Delmarco Cephas. The accused are also charged with other offenses in connection with the murder, including conspiracy to murder, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. We go to news from Trelawney now, as the police there say they have been working with residents to target criminals seeking refuge in the parish. Now, in a recent interview, head of the Trelawney Police, Superintendent Carlos Russell, said residents have been assisting the police with information on the location of criminals and are reporting strange people in their communities. Superintendent Russell explained that as soon as a report is made, an intelligence team acts upon the information to ensure that they investigate and find out the legitimacy of each person in the parish. He noted that Trelawney is considered to be one of the safest parishes in the country, and the police will continue to effectively enforce the law. Superintendent Russell advised that, quote, Trelawney is not a safe haven for criminals. We are always doing our operational activities, and whenever we know that these persons are in our area, we continue to do our operational activities targeting them, and most of them know by now that this is not an area for them to come to operate. End quote. The commanding officer encouraged residents to continue to be on the lookout for strangers in their areas and not to let down their guards. And those are some of the stories making news. We will return with other stories, as the Clarendon Health Services CHS has benefited from a donation of more than $4 million from Custos Rotulorum of Clarendon, Honorable William Billy Shaguri, to support the fight against COVID-19. And the Mobile Property Tax Compliance Team, the Ministry of Local and Rural Government's Mobile Property Tax Unit, will be returning to the parish of St. James later this month. But first, we'll take a break, and then it's over to Christopher Scott with the very latest in sports.